So today we're going to be unboxing Saviland acrylic powder. They sent this to me a while ago, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I'm just now getting to opening it. They did suggest this acrylic powder collection. It's giving very much spring vibes, so I decided to go ahead and do an unboxing, a swatch, or a swatch review. And I also am going to be doing a little set for you guys to show you all how to work with these acrylic powders, because I did have some trouble with these acrylic powders, you guys. As you know, I have reviewed Saviland on my channel before. This is actually the first brand that I ever reviewed on my channel, I believe, or one of the first brands that I worked with on my channel. If you go back a year ago to my very first videos, you will see that I started off with Saviland acrylics. Saviland, Young Nails, those were the acrylic powders that I started off with. So I did put the full case of the acrylic powders in the video just to show you all what type of acrylic powders they came with, like the colors and the shades of them all. I believe it does come with 20 acrylic powders, if I'm not mistaken. It's either 20 or 30, or 20 to 30 acrylic powders, but I'll have everything linked down below in the description for you all if you want to go check this out. And I also have a few of the kits that I've used before, and a really, really pretty pink acrylic powder by Saviland that works really well is linked in my Amazon storefront as well. So I'll go ahead and link this particular collection in my Amazon storefront as well for you guys if you want to check it out later or in another video. So I only did a couple swatches, and I did only a few swatches just because it was going to take entirely too long for me to do 20 to 30 swatches in this one video when I was also doing a nail set. So I just went ahead and chose some of the colors that were very different, and I wanted to show you all the consistency. So as you can see, this powder is not my favorite. And in the swatches, I did not put acetone in my monomer, but when I do my nail set, you are going to see that the acetone improved the quality of how these went on the nail and laid down tremendously. So I do recommend that if you are using these acrylic powders, that you would probably opt to use some acetone in your monomer when using these, because they are very, very slow setting powders. And so they are not going to polymerize as quickly as, you know, the powders that we use on a day-to-day basis for, you know, a really good application. Now, I do not get any proceeds from this brand, so I think I have a code with them though. If you want to save a little bit money off, you can look in my description box for the code. If I don't have the code, I'm sorry, but I will link it by the time this video comes up if they did send me a code. But if not, they are super affordable on Amazon. That is where I have always purchased them from, and I've had no issues as far as the price range, because you get a ton of these acrylic powders. They're in tiny bottles, but you get a ton of them for a very low price. Like, you can get this pack, I believe, for between $20 to $30, and that's a lot for 30 acrylics. You're literally paying like $1 per acrylic. So as you can see right here, I want to keep this one in. This one is marbling. A lot of these colors marbled, you guys. However, I will say once you pull it down, they kind of just blend together and it doesn't really show too much of the marbling. But I felt like the more pigmented ones, like the darker shades, the pinks and the blues, marbled more than like the yellows and the light greens. So just be on the lookout for that. But as you can see right here, it kind of all ended up blending together and you couldn't really tell that it marbled at all. So if that's something big for you, then I would not choose these acrylic powders. If you have like a thing completely against any type of marbling, then these are not going to be for you. So like I said, these are really slow drying acrylic powders, and you see that they do not polymerize on their own. They are not going to polymerize on their own. You're going to have to pick it up and you're going to have to tap your brush to get it to polymerize. So you're manually going to have to do that. And that is something that I do not like in acrylic powders. However, if you are just starting out and you are looking for something a lot more affordable and you want a lot more acrylic powders for your buck, then I would suggest these. However, I would suggest that you pay attention to what I'm doing with these acrylic powders to make them work for you. So this one right here, as you can see, I'm kind of just letting it sit on the nail for a little bit. You saw how I placed it on the nail, and this is taking me a very long time for me to bring it down. It's because I'm letting the powder kind of stiffen up before I drag it down. These powders are one of those powders where if you place it on the nail and then drag it down, you're going to literally drag all of the acrylic powder off. So if you are not using acetone in your monomer for these acrylic powders, I would suggest placing it on the nail and letting it just sit there for a few minutes, or a few seconds, I should say. Let it sit there for a few seconds and wait for it to stiffen up. You will notice that it's stiffened up when you touch the sides and they kind of just stay in place. If it is still moving to the point where you have to kind of catch it when you are pressing it in on the sides and trying to get it to center on the nail, then that means that it's not ready to be brought down. If you are bringing it down and you see that you are getting kind of like gaps or spaces in the color of acrylic, that means that you're wiping too much away and you're not being able, it's not distributing evenly on the nail. So right here, I noticed that it was getting too thin where I wiped it away. That means that it was not stiff enough for me to even start to bring it down. So I did go ahead and add more acrylic. I'm sitting and just playing with it until it gets stiff enough for me to bring it down. So at this point, it has set enough, and I was able to bring it down. Now this is a little sped up. I do want to note that. So the way you see me letting it sit on the nail is sitting for a little bit longer. But that is how you're going to work with them if you do not put acetone in your monomer. You're just going to have to place them on the nail and let them sit for a minute, let them stiffen up, and then start to bring it down. But while you are letting it stiffen up, I want you to make sure that you are keeping it on the center of your nail. So right here, doing the same thing, I'm playing with it, centering it on the nail, kind of not dragging it down just yet because I need to let it stiffen up, right? So you do want to make sure that you're still keeping your brush a little damp. And the reason why you're doing that is because you do not want any acrylic powder getting stuck in your brush. If your brush is too dry, it is going to make the acrylic powder stick to your brush. That's why we always say, make sure that your brush is always damp or wet, and that will help you in the process of bringing the bead down without it getting actually stuck in your nail. So in this video, we are going to be using 876 2XL Coffin No C-Curve tips. We're also going to be using Bright Yellow by Saviland. I believe that's the color. And you saw me just put some acetone in my monomer. That is going to be the key to getting a very easy application with this powder. Now we are going to be using these magnets and my nail cutters. I am using 7 magnets. I have them linked in my Amazon storefront. These make them very, very easy to cut your tips, and they all become the same length no matter what. So if you do not have these magnets, I highly suggest that you invest in the magnets and the nail cutter that I use. It is all linked in my Amazon storefront, and these will also be given away in my next giveaway at 5K. Now, I will say the acetone in the monomer helped a lot, you guys. Like, I feel like if I didn't put the acetone in the monomer, then this set would have just came out really, I don't even think it would have came out bad. I just think that it would have took me forever to do it. These nails did not take me long at all. I was watching Survivor while I was doing these nails, so it did take me a little bit longer than they should have. However, if I was really concentrating, these nails would not have taken me that long at all. Since this video is just really me reviewing the acrylics, I'm not going to do the entire application process with this acrylic powder. I just wanted you guys to get a feel of what I had to go through to apply the acrylic powder and tell you all if it was worth it or not. So as y'all saw, before I placed the bead down on the nail, I did have to tap my brush and make sure that the bead was completely polymerized before putting it on the nail, or at least close to being fully polymerized before placing it on the nail. If you do not have your bead completely polymerized, which means that your bead is going to turn glossy, the acrylic powder on your brush is going to completely turn a glossy color. It's not going to look powdery or too chalky. So you need it to look completely glossy before placing it on the nail. Reason being is because it's just not going to apply correctly if it is not fully polymerized. You also want to look for this in all of your acrylic powders that you purchase. If the powder is not polymerizing like right away, or, you know, at least polymerizing on its own, then that's probably going to be a harder acrylic to work with. So for these, they did not polymerize on their own. However, if I tap my brush, my acrylic brush, it did polymerize. I have had some acrylics where even when I tap my brush, nothing happens. They were literally like sit on the nail. So those are acrylics that are just a complete no for me. However, these acrylics, even though they don't polymerize, well, I feel like some of them did and some of them didn't. Like this case right here that I got did not polymerize for me how I needed it to. I do have a pink powder. I think it's actually called Saviland acrylic powder, and it's just pink. That color polymerizes great for me. So I'm not sure if they have like different formulas for certain colors or certain ounces that you get, because the pink one that I got was straight off of Amazon, and it's in like a 4 ounce or a 2 ounce. It's in a 2 ounce, and that one works really great for me. So I don't know what it is, but I just wanted to show you all how to work with it if you did have to get these to work, or if you plan on purchasing these. They're not impossible to work with. They are a little harder to work with. Y'all know my go-to is definitely 876 and not polished right now. Those are super, super easy to work with for me. And I don't have to manipulate them. So this one you are going to have to manipulate. However, like I keep saying, if you are on a budget, if you want a lot of acrylics, if you want a lot of different colors in one purchase, then this would be for you. Just pay attention to how I do it and what I'm doing with the acrylics so that it will work for you. And I also want to note that these acrylics are, once they are polymerized, once I tap my brush and get them to manually polymerize for me and place them on the nail, they are super buttery. And I know y'all can see it on camera exactly what I'm talking about. Like, they are actually really buttery and smooth to apply. They are not getting stuck in my brush. So, and I feel like the acetone is helping with that. Like, I feel like if I didn't add the acetone, it would have been more of a consistency like, what is it called? iGel Beauty, where it's kind of this tacky type of texture. And it kind of gets stuck in your brush. Like, they're very chalky, but when I've added the acetone, I feel like it dries it up a little quicker. So, or it makes it cure a little quicker. So, I feel like that was a tremendous help. Like, I don't know how many times I'm going to say add acetone, but you definitely have to add acetone for these acrylic powders to get them to perform like higher quality acrylic powders. So yeah, that is all I wanted to show you guys as far as the application is concerned. We're going to finish up this nail and then we're going to go into the design. And I was actually using spider gel for this design today and some pigments. So that is what I'm going to be showing you all. So this is how my nails are looking after we have filed and shaped them all up, buffed them out and everything. I went ahead and washed my nails, came back, and now we're gonna get into the design. So I'm going to be using this Dynamic Nail Supply matte top coat. I really love this matte top coat. It literally is smooth like velvet, as it says on the bottle. So it's this one, and I also have the Beetles top coat, but I definitely prefer this one. It makes my nails a lot smoother, and I don't know what it is. It just overall gives a better finish. So after we're done applying the top coat or the matte top coat, you can do these in matte or glossy. I just chose to do these nails full matte today because I don't typically do matte on my channel, and I thought that these would be really cute matte instead of glossy. But after you do this, you're gonna just cure them for 30 seconds to 60 seconds. I went ahead and cured them for 30 seconds because my lamp is a little stronger, so 30 seconds did the job for me. So now we're getting into the spider gel, and y'all, this spider gel is super old. Like when I tell y'all I dug and dug in the bottom of my drawer for this, I knew I had one white spider gel, but I did not know where it was. I think I got this in the beginning of my nail journey. Like, I feel like this is almost a year and a half old. It's just been literally sitting. I'm pretty sure I got it off of AliExpress, if I'm not mistaken. However, you can get tons and tons of them off of Amazon. I will have some linked in my Amazon storefront once this video is posted if you want to go check them out up there for a quicker shipping. But yeah, I love them. They're super neat to use. I don't use them often. I'm not sure that I've ever used them on my channel before, but I always see designs with spider gel, and I just thought in my head to go ahead and try some spider gel today. I don't know, I did not have any inspo behind these nails today, but I did know that I wanted to use some pigment powders. Sorry y'all, hold on, my cat is ruffling this bag in the background. Let me go get her. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, so like I was saying, I didn't have any inspo behind these nails. I just wanted to make them colorful. So at first I was going to choose a white background, and I was going to just put more white spider gel on the nails and still use the pigment powders just on the spider gel. But I was like, let's make it pop a little more. Let's make it look a little more springy. So I did go ahead and I was like, let me just do a yellow background, which is super springtime. And then let's do the white, and let's put the pigment on just the spider gel, and let's make it like an ombre effect. So that was my inspo in my head behind these nails. I thought it came out cute. I wish it would have came out a little neater as far as the pigments are concerned. But as you guys know on my channel, I am not the best person to do pigments. I don't know what it is about pigments, but they just do not apply on the nail how I ever need them to apply on the nail. Like when I see other people do pigment powders and they just simply dab it on the nails, it's so simple and easy for them. And when I do it, it's a complete mess and disaster. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know if I'm curing it for too long of a period, but y'all, it just never works out the way I want it to work out. So subsequently, I had to basically wipe off the tacky layer to that white polish on the thumb, or to that white spider gel on the thumb. And I had to redo it, but I do not show the redoing of my thumb in the camera. So we just went ahead, and you're going to see how I did the rest of my fingers. So the thing that I'm going to note to you all is go ahead, put the spider gel on, cure it for 15 to 30 seconds, but use a brush like how I'm using now. Do not use, well, you can, don't get me wrong, you can if it's a solid, like if it's just a solid, like paint gel, like a solid color all on the nail, like completely, if you had white all over the nail and it was just a gel polish, then you could dab it with the little makeup things that I was using at first. However, for me, that did not work on these nails. It actually was making more of a mess, and it was sticking to the yellow. It was sticking to my acrylic underneath. So what I found easier was getting a little blender brush, like a makeup blender brush from Dollar Tree or wherever. I got this particular one from Dollar Tree. They have them in the makeup section at Dollar Tree. You can get tons and tons of them for $1. So I used that to dab the powder on, and I feel like it wasn't as harsh. It wasn't pressing down too much into my yellow acrylic. It was just kind of, you know, just dabbing over the white spider gel. And I feel like that is what worked best for me. It did not, when I brushed it away, you're going to see at the end, it came off way better than it did on the thumb. When I did it on the thumb, I used that sponge and I pressed it into the spider gel, but that was pressing in also to my, my acrylic powder on the back end, the background of it. So it ended up sticking, and I did not like that. So as you're gonna see, I'm gonna dust it off, and it's pretty much gonna come off of where I needed to come off, and the rest is going to look exactly how it's supposed to. So that is what was more effective for me. Now I do feel like I had to clean up some of the nail because like when I dusted it away, there was some leftover like darker spots on the yellow, and I just feel like because it was yellow, it was catching so much of just like the background colors, and since I use blue, like it was just making a mess on the yellow. And I feel like majority of the time when you see people use pigment powders, they're doing it on a just flat out one base color nail. So they'll paint the whole entire nail white, and then they'll dab it on the entire nail and just like make splotches of different colors. When you're doing it like that, you don't have to be as precise or neat. But since I had to be a little bit more precise and a little bit neater, I felt like the blender brush was a better way of me applying the pigment powders. I hope I'm making sense. I know I'm talking pretty fast, but I just wanted to really thoroughly explain that part of what I was doing. And now you see I'm just pretty much cleaning the nails up, and everything was super cute at the end. So I did have to go back in with the pigment powders and apply them to this nail. However, it was not sticking. So I did end up applying some more spider gel to this nail and then reapplying the pigment powders. And y'all will see at the end, you're not going to see it in the camera, I don't believe, but y'all will see at the end that the thumb did get done. So I am taking the matte coat once again, and I'm just going to top coat all of the nails. This is just going to seal all the pigment in. Now I want to note that when I did this, I was swiping a little too much and too hard on the pigment, so some of the blue did lift up. So I will suggest that you just put a very, very thin, quick layer over top of these nails. Do not brush and brush over the pigment, or it will possibly come off. So as you can see on that nail, some of it did come off, and I was like, shoot. But I just ended up going over it with some more pigment at the end just to put that color back in. And if you want to, you can top coat them again and everything should be okay. But that is just something that I experienced. So I wanted to let you all know, just lightly go over the nails with a top coat. If whether it's glossy or matte, lightly go over it. Do not press too hard into the nails, or some of the pigment might lift up. So to finish these nails off, I am going to be putting some little flowers on the nails. I thought that was really spring too. So I went ahead and I chose purple and pink. I didn't want them to be too matchy with the colors that I already had in the nails. So I did want to choose at least one color that was off from the nails, which was purple. And I thought it went very well with the aesthetic of the nails, and I just overall thought it was super, super cute. So I am going to be applying a little bit of the Beetles rhinestone glue, and I'm just going to take 1 to 2 flowers. You can do more if you like, but I just chose to do 2 flowers on each nail. Same exact colors. You can switch up the colors if you want, very much so up to you. But this is what I chose to do, and I thought it came out super, super cute. I didn't really want to leave that blank space at the top. So instead of doing like bling or something like too much, I wanted to keep it very springtime and use flowers. And I don't really use these flowers too much. So then in the middle of the flowers, I am just going to be adding some caviar beads. And I thought that really set the tone and set it off for the flowers. You can leave the flowers as is, but they do have that little space in the middle, which I think they even make them for you to put something in the middle of them. So I would suggest using gold or silver caviar beads, or whatever color that you choose. They have so many different color caviar beads, y'all. And yeah, that was pretty much it for this set, you guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. I wanted to be very, I wanted this video to be very informative as far as like what I did. Usually I talk about other stuff during my videos, but today I chose to actually do a full-on tutorial and let y'all know exactly what I was doing. So let me know down below if if y'all are feeling the tutorials more than just me talking through the videos about, you know, life stuff and this and that, or if you like to see me interchange them a little bit. But anyway, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. It is Monday. I hope y'all had a happy Monday. And yeah, I will see y'all in the next video. I love y'all so much. Mwah. Bye.